Well, hey there, friends. So today I have a quick tip episode for you on 3 ways to just streamline your blogging process for great SEO without relying solely on AI. Because I know for a lot of us, time is money. And really, let's be real, time is the only thing we can't get back or make more of. So if we can save time doing something and still do it well, hey, sign me up for that. So these are 3 strategies that I've used to really streamline my blogging process for myself and for clients. And I've taught several students, and it's just really effective. So listen in, get that notebook and paper, and I'm going to give you these quick hit tips. Ready? Let's go. Hey there, fellow entrepreneur. Welcome to Simple SEO and Marketing with me, Faith Hannon. Do you want to grow your business with organic marketing and finally feel like you can understand SEO? Are you scouring the internet for how to get more website traffic, SEO for dummies, and how to market on Pinterest? Have you tried to grow your business with SEO and blogging only to get frustrated and quit because it's overwhelming and too time consuming? Been there. Hey, I'm Faith Hannon, Jesus lover, copywriter, blogger, wife, wrangler of tiny humans, and barrel racer. And let me tell you, I didn't have time to waste sorting through SEO and keyword strategies that either didn't work or were so over my head I couldn't understand them. I honestly thought that SEO and blogging only worked for people with a PhD in tech jargon and a whole team of employees, until I learned these secrets. Good SEO strategies don't have to be complicated, and creating and marketing great content doesn't have to take more than a couple hours a week total. So pop in those earbuds, slam some coffee, and let's grow your business with simple organic marketing and a healthy dose of biblical encouragement along the way. All right, y'all. So when I first started blogging, like back when I was little baby blogger Faith, and I just had one kid, and it would take me, 4.5 to 5 hours from start to finish to come up with the idea, write the blog, edit the blog, put the blog on my website, post the blog, and then share the blog. And that was really all I was even doing at that point. I wasn't doing Pinterest. I wasn't doing much with like social media graphics or anything like that. But it just took me so long to do it. And in hindsight, you get better the more you do something, right? Like anything you do, the more experience you have under your belt, the easier things are going to flow, right? But in hindsight, I was just making things so much more complicated than they had to be because I didn't have these streamlining hacks figured out. So today, my blogging process looks much, much shorter, and my blogs get found much, much better. So on average, from start to finish, when I am doing the whole thing myself, including Pinterest pins and social media graphics and BT dubs, I'm not doing much social media graphics, not doing much for social media graphics right now. So if you're like, where's your social media graphics, Faith? It's because they ain't happening. All right. But when I am doing the whole thing, right, really from start to finish, a blog takes me hour and a half max. So just know some of these tips have contributed to that, really. So it works. Okay. It works. So tip number 1 that I want you to lean into heavily, hear me on this, lean into this tip heavily, is you have to batch work to streamline your blogging process. You have to. I don't see that there's any way around it, to be quite honest. Now, when I first heard about batch working, I heard about it in terms of this person had a full work day. They had 6 to 8, maybe even 10 hours that they could sit down and work on one task or one group of tasks at a time. And that was not realistic for me then. That is not realistic for me now. And I was like, so unattainable. Nobody has that much time in one chunk to work on something, or nobody who, is a side hustler or who has kids or whatever, I was like, that's not attainable. But the more I dug into batch working and the more I really looked at systems and processes that were repeatable again and again and again. And the more I learned, the more I was like, oh, you could literally batch work almost anything. So I have an episode number 26 on batch working, and really I probably need to do another one and go into more depth on that, but episode 26 is good. So check that out. But basically, y'all, anything that you can do in batches or groups is something that you can batch work. So like grouping all like tasks together. So here are some examples of some things that you can batch work for your blogging process. One, I think you absolutely have to batch work your content ideas and your content brainstorming, partly because it takes a little bit of work to get into your ideal client's shoes and their head and really think about what's going to serve them and serve your business's long-term goals. And so if you are just, trying to sit down the day that a blog is due or the day before a blog is due and come up with content, write the content, edit the content, like it's not going to be your best work because you haven't been able to fully immerse yourself into your client's brain to really think through things. And so one of the things that I am a huge proponent of is batch working your content ideas and brainstorming. I have a master content list that I am constantly just popping ideas onto. And then if I'm sitting and I'm planning for like a launch or maternity leave, I pull up a separate doc and I will brainstorm content ideas for that entire period on that one doc. And what it does is it helps you to think in a much more streamlined and cohesive way so that things work together. And it gets you in that headspace. It gets the ideas flowing. It gets you into the what people like to call flow state, which in my world just means you get to think for more than 5 seconds without being interrupted. But that is one of the things that I absolutely love to batch work as my content ideas sessions. Another thing that I really love batch working in the blogging process is outlining, because so I've got my content ideas and then I can just sit and I can hash out an outline real quick and get my thoughts down about that topic, get it out of my head, get it onto paper so I can move on. Another thing that you can batch work is your image creation, your graphic creation. You can batch work your keyword research. You can batch work your title creation, like literally any piece of the blogging process, you can batch work. And ultimately, it's not just going to save you time, but it's going to make everything flow so much smoother, and it's going to make you better at what you are doing as well. All right, y'all, tip number 2 to streamline your blogging process is to use templates. Now, when I first started learning about templates or thinking about templates, I was like, oh, I have to like buy a template or use somebody else's template, or templates have to be this big fancy thing. And really, it's not. A template can be used with anything with a duplicatable process or a similar end result. Anything that has that duplicatable process or similar end result can be templated. And what that simply means is you have like just the main document that you copy and paste and fill in the blanks. And it doesn't have to be like super boring fill in the blanks, right? Like for my podcast blog content outline template, I have a place to put my podcast title, my main podcast keyword phrase, the content bucket, the main blog keyword phrase, and then I have links to my keyword spreadsheets, my Pinterest keywords, my podcast episode catalog. Then I have podcast or blog title ideas and a place to fill in those ideas. I have a place for podcast title ideas and a place to fill those in. And then at the bottom, I have links that I want to include in every podcast generally, or the general links to pull from. Like, it's not rocket science, but sometimes it can be really intimidating to be like, oh, you need to create a template. Really? It's just a document that you can use again and again and again. And you can template anything, and you can customize the template for anything. So don't feel like because you are templating something that you're not going to be giving good service or really showing that you care for your clients. So one of the things that I have really worked to template out in the last, 6 months or so is my copywriting client workflow and my VIP client workflow, because I realized every time I sat down to work on, a copywriting client's work, I had to like think about, where am I? How am I doing on this? Like, how far am I in this process? And I was like, that's dumb, Faith. Like, all you need to do is make templates. And not that their copy isn't totally customized, but when I have the process already laid out, I have the templates for, okay, I want a meta description and a keyword focus phrase and the page title and a photo formula and an alt text formula for each page, or whatever it is that I'm doing for that client. If I have all of those documents just ready to like copy and paste and rename, it makes everything, one, so much easier, and two, I can use my brain space on the actual creative part of the process instead of thinking, oh, snap, what was that thing I needed to remember to do, right? And when you use templates, what you're doing is you're not only making yourself better at what you do because you're not reinventing the wheel every time, but you're allowing yourself to use your brain space on growth things and on more creative things instead of having to reinvent the wheel every single time. And spoiler alert, it allows you to ask for help and get the kind of help that you really need and want in your business, because somebody's not trying to read your mind. Now, bless my team's heart. My assistant is the best in the whole wide world. I love her so much. And she's known me for so long that she can kind of read my mind. Bless her. I love her. But she's kind of spoiled me because not everybody can read my mind. And I'm like, oh. And so what I've tried to do is I've tried to template things, and I'm still working on it, to be honest, in such a way that you don't have to read my mind to figure out what I want you to do. And when you're able to take this idea and use templates in your blogging process, then you're able to hand things off if you so desire. And you're not having to think, oh, do I want 3 images on this blog post? Oh, how many links do I want on this blog post? Oh, what do I want to link back to for my paid CTA or my free CTA? It's already laid out. The thought work and the planning is already there, and it's all documented in the template, and you just have to copy, paste, and customize for that piece of content. Trust me when I say that using templates is game changer. Hey friend, I know you're trying to grow this business, but does it feel like it's not really going anywhere? Did you know that we can actually fix the back end of your business so that you have some great SEO? Did you know that we can repurpose your podcast or repurpose your blog and help you grow faster? Did you know that was even an option? If you're thinking, oh my goodness, Faith, that would be amazing, then head on over to faithhannon.com/coaching or click the link in the show notes. In just 1 hour of your time, we'll get you a marketing plan in a box with the exact keywords that you need to be going for, how and where to implement them, and at least 3 months of SEO-focused content planned out for you. Let's get your coaching call on the books right now and get your marketing strategy headed in the right direction. Spots are limited, so don't wait. And I cannot wait to help you finally get the breakthrough you've been waiting for and jumpstart your business dream back to life. And my third tip for streamlining your blogging process for great SEO without relying solely on AI is to use AI to jumpstart ideas, but not complete ideas. So I know, y'all, that AI is, oh my gosh, everybody is in such an uproar about AI or ChatGPT or like all of the AI things. It's a thing, right? Like it is in our world. It's probably here to stay. It's a thing. But in no way, shape, or form do I think that, one, we need to worry that AI is going to put us out of our jobs as content creators. Two, I also don't think that we need to rely solely on AI to create content. Yeah, you heard it there. Partly, oh my gosh, there's so many, I'm going to have to get off the soapbox. I have so many thoughts about AI. But the fact of the matter is, you are smarter than a computer. You are smarter than the robot. And you as a human being are going to be able to connect with the humans in your world, online or in person, better than a computer. Okay, you're going to be able to create original content with real experience better than a computer could. But I realize that sometimes we sit down to create content and we're just like staring at a blank screen. That cursor is screaming at us and we're like, wah, 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 I don't know what to say. So use AI to jumpstart your ideas, or maybe give you different title ideas, or just get the ball rolling rather than relying solely on AI to complete an idea. And it's funny because I actually just had an interview with on another podcast today, and he was British, so his accent was really cool. But he talked about how he really feels like when you read a blog post that was written by AI, there's something that feels off about it versus a blog post that was written by a person. And there are so many moral and legal potential ramifications of using AI to complete a blog from start to finish. Yes, I realize it's faster, but ultimately that's not going to give you the kind of results that you want. So you can use AI to jumpstart ideas, be like, hey, give me some ideas about this, or give me some different title ideas here, or what are some different ways to write this paragraph, or what are some different ways to write this paragraph, and then refine it. Use your God-given brain and your God-given gifts and your language and your voice to create the finished product, to refine the finished product. But it's totally doable. It can really streamline some things for you to use AI to jumpstart ideas. But again, please don't use AI for the whole cotton picking thing. So I pray that those tips are helpful for y'all. You can really streamline your blogging processes, still have great SEO, and learn how to have some more fun doing it. On the next podcast coming out, I'm going to talk exclusively about templates and give you some down and dirty template tips and things that you can actually template out, because I am such a fan of creating great templates. If you are on the fence about booking a coaching call, make sure that you get that booked, because again, when I go on maternity leave starting in December, not booking coaching calls for several months. So if you want a coaching call, if you want my eyeballs on your business for an hour or a whole VIP day, make sure that you get that booked stat. Those spots are very limited, and I want to be able to help y'all as much as I possibly can before we welcome baby number 3 into the world. All right, y'all, we'll chat with you next episode. Bye. Thank you so much for listening in today. Hopefully this episode gave you some really tangible tips for better SEO and marketing to get more leads and more sales from your website. If it did, can I ask you a quick favor? Would you please share this episode with a friend, and then just take 10 seconds and go leave a written review on Apple Podcasts. That is the very best way to help more Jesus-loving entrepreneurs scale their businesses so that they can help more people with their gifts and make an even bigger impact for the kingdom of God. And guess what? We now have a Facebook community where we can learn, hang out, and laugh. Go join the Facebook group now. It's linked in the show notes. And all the other things, courses, coaching, and copywriting, can be found at my website, faithhannon.com. Until next time, God bless, and I'll talk to you soon.